This is Jackie.
And this is Heather.
And welcome to
Millennial Mom Chatter, your go-to podcast for candid conversations and fresh perspectives.
We're just two millennial moms navigating life one hilarious audio message at a time. Join us for laughs, adventures, and real talk.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Millennial Mom Chatter. We are excited to be back. We are a little one day late. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
No one notices that stuff.
No. So we are happy to have you this week. We have been pretty busy, but we got good news. Jackie's hubby's coming back home.
Whoop, whoop. No longer have to single parent, just a couple more weeks, but we're on the downhill. The light is at the end of the tunnel. We have a date. You know, it's a guesstimate, but that doesn't matter. Like, that's still something we can look forward to. So we're very excited.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited. Are you ready?
80% ready. Mentally, emotionally, I'm ready. But there's just lots of like logistics and stuff. So little things that I'm trying to like sort out. All the things, you know, getting my hair done, you know, making sure the house is all neat and tidy. The cars are squared away. The boys are squared away. So I got my little checklist. We're working on it. So things will come into place.
He comes back and you're like, I promise I did everything. Look.
Yeah. The whole time you were gone.
I know. I didn't realize until like, obviously I got to know Jackie that like there's just a whole like reintegration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's people don't get that.
No, it's just different because you get so used to your routine as a single person that then all of a sudden this person just kind of like flops back into your life. And it's great because obviously you love them and you're happy that they're home and safe. But at the same time, you've gotten so used to this kind of routine. And then they're also in a different routine too, because obviously they're on the different side of the planet. So they've got jet lag, their own schedules that they've been on with like the intensity and everything. And then they also are coming back and getting time off of work. So it's like different. Like it's not a vacation. Like it just feels weird because you're both like navigating like, wait, whoa, what? Whoa. I'm going to go over here. Where are you going? What are we doing? Oh, you're eating dinner. You're hungry. Like, what do you want to do? Like, so it's
like I could see how and it's neither one's fault. It's just like a natural motion that I would imagine you have where it's like you've been gone this whole time, right? So it feels like you're going to come home and you're going to help me, right? Like that's what you think. But then like they have been like working constantly. And so they just want to like be in their home and just relax because they haven't been in their home or relaxed fully. And so they just want to relax. And so it's nothing to knock them. But then inside, you know that like, oh, they've done all this stuff and you want them to relax. But then in your mind, you're like, you can't just help me.
Yeah. Can you get up, please? Like, are you just going to nap all day?
Are you just going to sleep all day? Or and they don't even get that much time off. So like they really only have like a couple of days or a week to do this. And so I can imagine the emotions are so just wild. Like
yes. It's kind of just all over the place, honestly.
Yeah, like you feel one way, but then you know you should feel another way. And so it just probably feels so confusing. And like I've asked you this before, like it must feel like obviously you guys have been married for 12 years. Like obviously you're comfortable with each other, but I imagine it just feels like almost odd at first, like to like, I don't know, have somebody there.
Yeah, it's almost like you get the butterflies back.
Like newly dating.
Yeah, it is like newly dating where it's like, oh, okay. Oh, you're so cute. Like I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, do you think I look cute? Like, am I still cute to you? Like, so I just feel like you get back into that where it's like you fall in love with that person almost all over again. Like you're dating again. So it's kind of cute.
So do you see, I don't think I've asked you this question before. Do you see like, obviously deployments are hard, right? But do you feel like it ends up making you stronger at the end? Like it does benefit, or do you think it like harms?
It depends on the couple, but I think in most instances, this can actually better a relationship. It's going to make your foundation stronger because you're having to overcome an obstacle. Like being away from your loved one is really hard. Like you miss them, you're alone. It's not like you can go out, like you're not going to want to have an affair. Like you want to be loyal to this person. So it's like, you really are just like in by yourself, really having to focus on that person, and they're far away from you. You can't do anything about it. You're dealing with hardships by yourself. So I find that like navigating all of that, it makes you better in the end, because then you can come home and just like really get back to like where you were at and just focus on you as a couple. So I don't know. I feel like it can make us strong. I mean, I feel like in the past we've done 2, and I feel like we came back stronger than ever from those.
Yeah.
So I feel like it
I know
just
that's
depends
been
on the
great.
couple.
I mean, considering how long he's been in, like it's impressive. Like that's awesome that you've had to only do 2, like because that's just it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. Like you can look at the the benefits of like, oh, it made us stronger. And I think it's kind of cool that like you said, if you're the right couple, during this time, it's almost like a break in a sense where you like now you come back and you're like, I missed you. Like, I need you. Like, I
Yeah.
want you in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I like because, people, that's kind of how a lot of couples, like, if they do break up, they are like, they almost do a break period to see, like, to get stronger and then come back together.
Yeah,
So it's
because you
kind of
don't
like
realize
you're
what you had until it's
right.
gone, right?
So
Like,
you're
that's
almost like
a good
forced to do
example.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
So
nice.
this will be our when he gets home, this will be the 3rd one, and so we're hoping that's it. That he'll be done with deployments, and so hopefully then we won't have to deal with
How
such
often are
drama.
deployments?
It depends on your job.
Okay.
So we're in the pilot community, and a lot of pilots, they do deploy, but theirs are only like 3 months long. So some don't have
Mm,
to go as long, but then maybe they go more frequently. So like maybe
okay.
once every 2 years or something. So it just kind of depends on your job. And then obviously like each branch has their length of deployments, so you could talk to anyone and they could tell you, "Oh, I was gone for a year. Oh, I was gone for 3 months." Like
Yeah.
there's just a lot of different factors that could come into play for what a deployment might look like for
Yeah.
somebody. But yeah, we've been fortunate that with his job in his career field, they do deploy and they do go places and do things. But for some reason, we've been just as fortunate that, like, I think COVID had a lot to do with that as well, because a lot
Well,
of
COVID, you
people
were
didn't get deployed during COVID. So
yeah,
that took away one. Like,
yeah, and you were in Australia, so they can't fully deploy.
well, he did
But
Australia.
wasn't it? It wasn't a little bit.
No, he deployed with the Australian Air Force. So he went
Oh,
for 6 months with their Air Force.
oh, so
So
it was
that
just the Miami one that he
Um,
couldn't
so
deploy.
so from Miami, he couldn't because that was like a
Yeah,
certain assignment where he was an instructor, and that you're not going to take instructors. You're not going to take
yeah,
instructors and
yeah,
students to go deploy. So since he wasn't attached to an actual squadron, he wouldn't leave
yeah,
to go anywhere. So then when we were in Virginia, that's when COVID happened. So a lot of troops were non-deployable, but they just weren't doing that kind of stuff
yeah,
at the time. And so then everywhere else that we've been stationed has been attached to a proper squadron. So then he's deployed.
yeah.
So that's like, I guess, the
So
best way to
COVID in
describe it.
Miami saved you for a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, we had a little bit of a break, so it was
That's good.
good.
That's good. I
Yeah.
forgot that you had said. I thought for some reason he had done like a month or something like that in Australia, but that he couldn't physically be deployed because isn't it something like that though? That like if you're overseas, you don't get deployed. Is that a thing? I
No.
feel like I've. Oh, it's not.
No, you
I
can
thought
still get
if you're.
deployed.
I thought if you're living overseas, they consider you like you kind of are deployed in a sense. Like you
It just depends
are.
on where you are. So, like, Germany, for instance, is an actual, like, big base, so you'll deploy. Like,
Okay.
you are gonna support missions just in a different location. So it just depends on where you're at. So Australia, because that was an exchange assignment, he deployed with the Australian Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a US representative with the Australian Air Force. So
Yeah.
it's different. It still counted as a deployment. So a lot of the US people that were with him, like, that was still very, like, normal. It was very just same as what they would do with the US Air Force, but with the Australian Air Force.
Yeah.
So they were just emailing different people. Like,
Yeah. So if you got Germany, would he have a chance of being deployed again?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And it just depends on his job. I can't predict that because I don't know where he
Of
would be
course.
stationed as far as like if it's an active squadron with like jets and stuff. But there is a chance he could deploy again. And that's just something that I'm willing to take it. If we can get stationed in Europe, like that's like how I am too. I think being a military brat, having joined the military myself, my dad being gone frequently, myself, I deployed, and then marrying into the military, I kind of come into this like knowing. So I'm not shocked by it.
No,
So, like, of
yeah.
course, it's miserable. Like, I don't want my husband to leave. I don't want him to leave us. I know the boys are sad. Like, I don't like being alone. I want to have a partner to cuddle up on the couch with. But at the same time, it's like, if we can get a cool assignment out of it, that's fine. I can take
Yeah.
that sacrifice. Like,
I know. I always told Jackie, I'm like, I really hope you get what you want, but don't leave me.
yeah, of
Because it's
course.
like, it's definitely gonna like, obviously, we're still gonna remain friends,
Of
but the
course.
time difference and like, we can't do the mini trips. Like, just it would not happen.
I know
So
we'd have to
it's
have
like,
if we got stationed in Europe, we'd have to have a big European girls
yeah.
trip for sure. We'd have to take
I
advantage of that location.
Yeah. I just don't see us seeing each other more than, like, probably twice, if that. So
No,
it's,
like,
like,
the
makes
frequency in
it
which you and I
makes me
have been seeing each other,
sad.
yeah, like, because 'cause we've been doing really good.
Yeah,
For those of you who aren't familiar with Heather and I's background, we basically are a long distance friendship, but we've been so good at putting in the work to,
we
like,
have.
maintain that and, like, visiting each other and, like, planning trips, like, whatever we can kinda do to, like, not let it die out and fizzle
Yeah.
out, so,
I
yeah.
think and I think the thing that when I say worry, I mean, not literally, like, I stay up all night thinking about it, but I feel like it's gonna be so hard for our kids in the sense that when I say hard for our kids is that because of the time difference, um, they're either gonna be in school or in one of them in bed, and so, like, I feel like unless it's maybe the weekend, they'll never be able to, like, communicate or, like, play with each other like they do now, and so that makes me sad, but it's okay. Like,
No,
if it
that is a valid
happens
concern because, like, you and I are adults, like, we can be like, "Hey, like, I know it's really late at night for you, but I just wanted to, like, touch base with you real quick."
yeah,
Whereas,
we
like,
can
we
talk like,
can
chat at
do that.
10 PM tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the kids have bedtimes because they have school. So that is challenging. So because we've been really spoiled being on the
I
same time
know.
zone with you
Like
guys right now. Because they come home from school at the same time. If they're done
yeah,
with homework, they can hop on and play Minecraft together. So it's like it's gonna be sad if we
I
end up, like,
know,
leaving
like,
the time zone.
I just would want them to, like, remain close, so I guess
Yeah.
my, like I said, it's not, like, legit a fear, like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, I stay up all night thinking about this." But I'm like, I would fear that they would, like, lose their, like, what's they're called? Like, the rhythm when we're in right now, like,
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
relationship, I guess? Like,
'Cause it's so
the
easy right now. It's so they literally can just like,
yeah,
"Hey, I wanna hop on the iPad and see them," and they know that they're eventually gonna see each other again. So I feel like
yeah.
it's very easy right
I
now.
know, and we're, like, spending holidays together in
Yeah.
summers and, like, spring breaks and, like, little weekends, and so it, like, keeps it easy of, like, where
Yeah.
they're, like, remain best friends. We're like, if we're not only seeing each other, like, maybe once a year, if that, or and they're not, like, able to talk to each other, I'm like,
Yeah.
are they gonna like, right now, at the place we're in, we're all comfortable with each other. Like, our
Yes.
kids, our
Yeah.
spouses, like, us, like, we are comfortable living in the same space. So I'm like,
Yeah.
would that change? I don't know.
Yeah, and it could naturally just because 'cause they're gonna get older and they could be like, "Oh, I'm shy now." Like, I don't
Yeah.
really know them. Like, if they haven't seen them, like, if we
I
do
haven't
get
seen
stationed
them or talked
overseas.
to them much.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to, like,
Yeah.
basically force them.
Yeah, no, they will, and then and we're so fortunate too that they don't have to be, like, snail mail pen pals. Like, they
Yeah,
can do that, but they also
and
still can pick up
FaceTime
the
and
phone so that they don't like, "Oh, like, I'm older now and I'm, like, nervous to see them," or, "I'm, like,
mhm.
shy now," and it's like, "No, like, you guys could still see each other's faces, like,
Yeah,
on, a mobile device, so it's
yeah,
great." Like,
yeah.
we'll
No, thank God
navigate
for
that.
that. Because
So,
for
luckily,
sure
we have still a good chunk of time here in the US, so hopefully we don't have to be worried about that, like, for a
yeah,
while.
we'll see.
We're not going anywhere.
Maybe my voodoo will work. No,
Yeah.
joking. Okay,
Another
so
episode of spooky season.
Jackie, I've been doing some sacrifices
Yeah.
so that you could stay in the US.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Doing
I
the work.
wouldn't tell you that though, even if
No,
I
no, you're
did.
just like, "Oh, that's so weird. That's
I
so weird
didn't
that you guys didn't get it."
like, I don't, like, know why.
Yeah, that's so weird.
You guys are such candidates.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine. Okay,
But did you hear about this girl, an 8-year-old girl who drove to Target by herself this weekend?
what?
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
gonna talk
so
about Mormons and then wait, but now I'm
oh, well, no,
intrigued
we
of
can
this
okay,
story.
give me just a second. Okay, so
Okay.
literally this 8-year-old girl, so close to our kids' age, right? So just imagine
Okay.
our kids. She literally it was Sunday morning. The parents were like, "Wait, where did she go?" And they were like, "Wait, like where's our daughter? Like where is she?" And so then they called the police cuz they're like, "We can't find our daughter. Like she literally walked out the door. We don't know where she is." She got in her mom's car and drove 24 minutes to Target.
No.
Yes. She made it safely to yeah,
24?
24 minutes. That's how long she drove. So they put in like a missing report. So then it popped up on the other like police officers, like, what is it? Like their walkie talkie thing. So they heard it. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, missing child, like driving a car. Like, and so then someone got like on a dash cam. They show her like just driving through an intersection. And the only damage she caused, she only hit one mailbox on her 24-minute drive to Target.
Wait, okay,
One mailbox.
okay, so it's 24-minute drive, but, like,
Yeah.
that's how long she took, but, like, like, how many miles away was it? Like, is she driving really
Uh
slow?
I don't know how many miles. I think it was only like 10 miles. It was like close. So that what they did say was they mapped it, like they looked on the GPS to see what route she took because they were like, "How did she do this?" And they were
Mhm.
like, "No, she actually like did a good job because they found there's only like two ways for her to get from her house to Target, and they found the way she took, and they were like, wow, she literally made it safely, only nailing one mailbox, 24 minutes straight
And
to
it's probably,
Target."
like, in the beginning or something.
Yeah, it was, like, somewhere in the neighborhood
Yeah.
probably, and so then she parked the car at Target, she went inside and just started buying a bunch of stuff. She bought a
Wait, how did she
frappuccino.
park?
I don't know, I wish they would've they actually try to keep, like, her identity private, so they didn't show her,
Oh
and, like, they
my
only showed the
gosh.
dash cam footage of the car driving by, like, and they were following her, so they didn't show her parked, like, they didn't show us the car.
Was
I
she,
wanted to see the
like
lines, like
was she, like, high
yeah,
up in the
like
thing?
and that's what they said. So the cop who was, like, on the mic, he basically was like, "Oh, this is, like, someone really small can barely see over the steering wheel. This must be the child that's missing." He was like, "Maybe that's her because I just heard it on, like, the little when they're like, 'Missing child,' like." And so he's like, "That's probably the girl that just drove past me in this
Oh my
intersection heading to Target."
gosh.
And so it was really cute, though, because at the end, she had a frappuccino, and the police let her finish her frappuccino before they took her out of Target.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
it's so cute. I was like, "That
Like,
is" and they're like, "We're not" and they literally, like, left a statement, like, on Twitter or something, and they're like, "We're not mean, like, we let her finish her Starbucks Frappuccino." And I was like, "I actually love that." Like, they didn't ruin her
so
day. Like,
did she steal money and, like, or a card?
I don't think she ended up making any purchases because they were like,
Well,
she
she got
went
a
in there so
frappuccino, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, so she did how did she buy that? I don't know. They didn't release a lot of details. I need more. Like, I wanna
Oh my
know, like,
gosh.
did she go
That
in with, like, an iPhone and she, like, scanned it? I don't she probably had cash.
Yeah.
I think
I
she had
mean,
cash.
that's pretty cute, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like, you know that like, I can just picture the type of mom she has that is probably the typical Target mom that, like, gets her Starbucks every
Yeah.
day because,
For
like
her to know that, to know what
well
that she likes and wants to order.
well, and, like, that she did all of this just to get a Frappuccino. Like, so it's, like, in her routine probably.
Yeah.
And so, like, my kids would even if they stole my car, they would never go to Starbucks. Like,
No, they wouldn't know that either.
that
No.
wouldn't even be on my kids' radar. So, like,
No, but I
as I
think
was
my boys
saying
would go straight back to the toy section, and they'd be like, "What Switch games are out?" Or what, like, new Lego set is
yeah.
available. That's where they would be
Yeah.
found. Like
Yeah. And so I think that I can just picture the type of, like, mom she has that it's the typical girls we see on, like, reels and TikToks where it's
yeah.
like, the mom that goes to Target to shop every day and gets her Starbucks and, like, has her SUV and you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, for
Has the
sure.
lip balm hanging from her keys. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably the mom.
Yeah, so they did
Okay,
keep their
so
identities, like, hidden, because they didn't wanna they knew there was gonna be negative backlash on that, like, what kind of parents let their kid, like, literally walk out the door and drive a car? Like, how could you
mhm.
not see her? So they were like but it was all in a matter of minutes, so it's not like she was missing for hours, like, she literally had just walked out the door, I think they said, like, 7 a.m., and then within that 1
7
hour,
AM.
the police officers were already, like, on the hunt, like, she
Oh
was
my
already, like, a missing
god.
child, so it's not like this really, like, super bizarre situation. I'm like, an 8-year-old knows how to open a door. Like, that is
Oh,
realistic
yeah.
to think a kid could just, like, literally walk outside. I mean, the thought of, like, driving a car, like, I'm pretty impressed,
Mm,
though.
yeah, I
I
was gonna
don't know if
say,
my kids knew how
m
to drive a car.
my kids would not make it, like, I don't think out of the driveway.
No, I think they'd be crashing through the garage door. Like, I think I would just probably see it on the Ring camera, and it would be them, like, accidentally hitting the accelerator and it flying into the house or
Yeah,
something.
like, I don't
Like,
think my
not
kids
knowing.
I don't think my kids know to read the R and the D and the,
Yeah.
and that I just don't and that you have to press the brake to pull
Yes.
the I just don't see it happening.
No, so
Even
I
my
wonder too what
11-year-olds,
kind of
I don't see
car
it.
I don't know. It was like a little SUV, so I don't know what she has, if hers are buttons or a dial.
It's probably a
So,
girl that is very, like, mature up here for her age,
yeah.
and she watches every little detail. She probably
Yeah.
had this plan and was like, "Next time my mom drives, I'm gonna
Yeah.
look exactly what
Yeah, like
she
her mom, she might
does."
have, like, the dial in the middle, and she
Yeah.
probably was like, "Oh, every time my mom does this, she just turns it, like, bing, and then the car just starts going. So she probably was like, "That's easy. I got this." Like,
I want
but I
to
just thought it
like
was so
I
hilarious.
want to
Like,
see this girl. Like I want to see what she looks
yeah,
like.
I wish that there was more information. Like, I get it. They're, like,
I get
protecting the
it too. Yeah,
privacy.
yeah,
And so, obviously, she wasn't criminally held responsible for anything. Like, she's a child, so they were, like, just happy that she was safe and she didn't cause any damages. So they were like, "Okay, well, we're
yeah.
gonna take
Okay.
your frappuccino and take you home." Like,
What do you do as a parent? You're
um
like, kill him.
yeah, I'm like, "Okay, you're done." Like, I don't know because it's like what she did was very big, right? Like she could have we're laughing about this because obviously she was safe and she
Oh, she
didn't
could have killed
crash.
herself.
She could have killed somebody else. Like so we're
Yeah.
very like we can giggle about this because we know that it's a
Yeah, yeah,
happy
yeah.
outcome to the story.
Hmm.
But at the same time like there do need to like I'm going to put some consequences in place because what you did was wildly irresponsible at the same time that like you're a child and you're not supposed to do that stuff. Like please don't ever walk out the door again because that's where it starts, right? Is she left the house. So it's like you have to tell mommy and daddy where you are. Like I love you.
Well,
I
and
don't
she
want
didn't
anything
even
bad
just
to
walk
happen.
out. She stole the car and money.
Yeah, she had
Holy
cat.
moly. That's like, is it just a one-off thing that she's a little kid, or is she gonna be that kid for them? You know, like,
Oh,
is she gonna be the
I don't know.
teenager sneaking out and then,
Yeah. I mean, if it was that easy for her to do as an 8-year-old, imagine what she can do at 16. So I don't know.
this is for sure one of those moments that like we saw on TV growing up where you're like, you're grounded for life. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I think they just honestly in that position, if that happened to one of our kids, I would just be like, okay, we need to have like a major conversation
oh yeah.
because like I'm so happy you're safe and like this did work out. Like you got a frappuccino and you came home safely because we love you and we always just want to make sure that you're okay. But at the end of the day, like you can't ever do that again. Like
Yeah.
that could have ended way different for us
Yeah.
as a family. So
I'd almost want, like, the police to scare her a little, you
I
know?
know
Like
I was kind of
like
shocked.
handcuffs on her, like, just to
Yeah,
scare
like
her
a
a
little
little.
scared straight, like take her to the jail and like put her in a cell, let her get yelled at by a bunch of inmates, like just something. Cause I honestly would want that a little bit. Like, cause they were obviously very nice.
Just handcuff and
Yeah,
put in
just
the back.
handcuff her, put her in the back of the car, and like be really stern with her. The fact that they like giggled and were like, they let her have her frappuccino. I'm like, no, that's too nice. Make her throw the
Yeah.
frappuccino away. Like, this is no. Like, you did a bad thing.
Yeah, like, be kind to her, but, like,
Yeah.
at the same time, like,
Scared
scare
straight.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if my kid was handcuffed, oh my god, I think they would
Yeah.
just break down.
Yeah, no, they would instantly cry. Like, my boys would
I
literally just
would
be a puddle.
cry.
I would too, I'd be like, "I'm in trouble." But, like,
I
they would
could
just be a puddle on the ground, and I'd be like, "Yes." Like, "Now you'll never do that ever again. You stole a car.
gosh,
Like, you stole my car, essentially."
that's
Like
wild. I don't even know what I would do. I
yeah.
really like, it's one of those things that, like, hearing this story, like the fact that she's okay, you laugh at it. But if I'm the parent, I don't think I laugh at all, like at
No, they
all.
probably weren't laughing. No. And then you had to think how nervous you are too, like, for that short period of time in the beginning when they didn't know where she was.
Hmm.
Like, they didn't know until a little bit later, obviously, that it's like, "Oh, she's at Target, she's fine, we'll go get her for you." But, like, for
Yeah,
that first, like, what, 30 minutes when they didn't identify her
yeah.
her yet, like,
You think you
that's
could be a
very sca
Dateline story?
yeah, you're
Yeah,
like, something really bad has happened, not like my daughter's enjoying her best life.
her frappuccino. And I before we go on Mormon Wives, talking about speaking about Target, I went to Target yesterday, had to get something for my mom, and I go in and I was like, oh, we need like a little pick me up, so we got like a green tea. And as we're waiting for our green tea, I look out the window and there is I'm gonna drop it right here somewhere, a picture. There's this car. What's that like European car brand that's like so one off? Like it's like it's almost like a Fiat. Like not the
Mm,
look, but it's like a
okay.
brand.
I
Something
can't think of
Romero.
it. I know what you're talking about because 'cause it's got a unique logo too.
Yeah, it's
I
something
don't know
Romero.
what yeah.
Anyways, so I look out and it is covered in spray paint and it says, "You cheated." And there's like "FU" written all over. I'm talking about like 100 times over it. And like it's like
Wow.
liar and big things. So hear this out. So I thought it was funny. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like, okay. So I told the Starbucks guy when he was handed to me, I was like, you want to see something funny? And he's like, what, the car? And I was like, oh, you saw it already. It looked like it just happened because when I looked out there, not just happened, but when I looked out there, there was a bunch of people around it. So I thought like, oh, they're just coming to find out. And he's like, yeah, that's my friend's car. It's just a joke. And I'm like,
Oh.
but he says it's so serious. Like he doesn't say like, oh, ha, ha, like he's not laughing. And so I don't know if it's like his car and he doesn't want to admit it, or if it's really his friend's car and like you're just playing like it's a joke. Because who would want
Yeah.
that?
No, that's not maybe he's trying to de-escalate it because he's embarrassed and he's, like,
I
tired
don't
of it, or,
know.
like, maybe if he is the cheater, he's like, "Why would I own up to that?" And it's like, "That's my friend's car, like, it's fine."
Exactly.
Like,
So I don't know what, like, I really don't know. Like, it could be a joke, but I don't know what the full story is because, like, they say if it's like, because apparently that is kind of a thing going around right now, but they say if it is that it's like chalky, like almost it'll crumble off. And this like
"Oh,
was
okay."
straight up because we parked like 2 cars away. It was like straight up paint.
See, I would
And I was
cry.
like,
If
and I
that
was
was
like,
my car, you'd see me crying.
oh
Like,
yeah. And I was like, who would do this? Like, no, I don't know. And it's a nice,
oh,
like, quote unquote nice
yeah.
car. I don't care for it, but like, why would he do that? I don't know.
Ugh,
It just didn't
that's a
like
terrible joke.
well, yeah, and who would like why is it funny? Like I
No.
would be mortified driving around in a car like that. Like it's not funny to me. Like I
And
would be
also,
like,
as, like, an ex-girlfriend, I don't know if I would've done that. I don't know, it's just a lot of, like, spray painting
there
anybody's car.
there
Like,
are
I don't
definitely
know.
girlfriends that would do that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would. Like, just
Oh, I would never.
knowing, like, that's you're not only like, I wanna obviously, like, get you back, right? If you cheated on me, like, I'm like, petty, like, how can I get you back?" But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, literally destroying your car with, like, real spray paint, I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot.
I think you have to be a husband to
Yeah,
go that
okay,
far.
Tony, if you're listening, and
Like
he's a car guy too. I mean, your hubby is too, like, they like nice, like, so if we destroy their cars, I think they'd be like we'd probably have, I don't know, police after us, like, there'd be, like it'd be escalated.
You know what though, Alvaro, if he did something really bad, I think our husbands would be like they would take it because they would know.
Oh, that's true, they would feel guilty.
Like they would feel
They'd be
like if
shameful.
you did something really crazy, like you cheated on me or had a whole other family or like had kids with another woman I didn't know, like something crazy like that, and I'm married to you, I'm not saying I would do it, but like that definitely warrants that. Like I
No, it
would,
does warrant it, but now I'm
like,
also thinking, like, the stuff you just said is, like, whole next level. I don't know if I'm
oh
spray
yeah.
painting your car, I'm probably looking for next level, like, burning
You're
down
like
houses,
like
like
Dateline, I'm paying
yes.
somebody to murder
Like,
you.
I'm about to be, like, on some crime documentary. Like, it's I'm not just spray painting your car. If you've got, like, a whole side family, like a side piece and a side family, like, it's gone that far. Yeah,
I know.
I'm not spray painting your car. Like,
And
this
like
is not a $5 crime. Like, we're
yeah.
going, like, big. I'm
Yeah.
going bigger going home. Like,
And like the first thing, and I know this is so terrible, but like say you do something to that extreme. The first thing I'm thinking of, and I don't even know if I'd follow through with this because I don't know if I'd want to do that to my kids, but the first thing I'd want to do is not pit my kids against him, but like not allow him to ever see them
yeah.
again.
Like, you did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you like this?
Like my first thought is to literally pack my kids up and just leave, like on a long vacation, leave, like where he doesn't know where we went, he doesn't see us, like none of it. Like that
Yeah.
would be my first instinct.
I'm just laughing
Sorry,
that we're,
babe.
like like, we're
Sorry.
plotting it out on a podcast.
And I don't
Like,
know if like long term, obviously I could keep that,
of
but like
course, yeah.
at
I
the
feel like
same
I would do the
time,
same thing. I'd be like, "I hope you guys are disappointed in your daddy right now. I hope he's embarrassed and shameful because you
all
guys are"
day for
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, like, we're gonna go live our best life. Like, we're about to go someplace. I don't know where yet, but we're going. Pack your bags.
We would
Like,
probably go to each other's house, I would imagine.
yes, yes. Be like, what trash food are we eating? What are we doing?" On his
and
credit card. Like,
and I think that our husbands would know that too.
no, they would. They would 100% just be like, "Babe, no, 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 no." Like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait."
No, like I 100% Tony would know to come to our house.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but he'd also be, like, super pitiful too.
Oh yeah, I would be sitting there with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Jackie, you don't have to pay nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, our cousins would definitely be able to easily find us at each other's houses, probably
Yes,
because
yeah.
that's like the best place you could go, right? Is because we don't even have like we not only have each other, but we have somebody for our kids.
Yes, it's not just
Like,
me going to some random person's house where it's like I mean, I'd have to be just crashing on their couch because it's not a good alternative for the kids.
well, and our kids could play with each other, and like it
Yes,
could
it would
be
be a
like
good
a very good,
distraction.
yes,
Yeah.
and like a little bit of a normalcy.
Yeah.
So we probably would literally go to each other's house, but
Yes. I would know that though. I always joke that if I ever go missing, you guys will pull up my phone records and it will just be like, okay, this person right here, this phone number is the number one suspect, or she is here, and it's gonna be Heather's phone number.
Yeah, because
Like, who
we don't
is
talk to
this?
our
This
husbands
is
as
the only
much.
person she talks to.
Yeah, because we don't talk to our husbands as much. Like,
Yeah.
when he's home, obviously, I don't talk to him on the phone, and then when he's
Yeah.
at work, like, we're not talking that much. Like,
Yeah,
it's quick
their careers
conversations.
don't allow for, like, them sitting on it's not gonna be all day long text messages and phone
No.
calls, like, so they're not gonna see anybody but her phone number in my phone log. They're just like,
4
"Who is
hours.
this? Is she having an affair? Because this phone
I know,
number
we're gonna
is"
be pitted as lovers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Too much. It's fine.
Well, speaking of lovers, I did promise you guys a
A
conclusion
Mormon wife
to
update.
yeah, the Real Housewives
Okay.
of or whatever it's called. I don't even know. Mom
Secret
talk.
lives,
Yeah,
secret lives.
secret lives. The not so
Yeah.
secret lives of Mormon wives. So I finished it and I it was one of those things where I couldn't look away, and now I have a different opinion compared to where I was last week with, like, the halfway point.
Okay, good or
I'm
bad?
actually I mean, I don't support them, but I feel bad for them. We have a lot
Mm.
of bad stuff here, so I don't know if this has anything to do with the traditional values of, like, the Mormon upbringing, but some of the hubbies are very, very controlling. So you get to kinda see that play out, and a lot of it was, like, really toxic, and one of the girls, one of the wives, she's it's very unhealthy. It's not a healthy relationship
Do you
with what
visually
sh
see it?
so it's not a physically abusive relationship, it's an
Mhm.
emotionally abusive
Yeah, but
relationship,
do you
and he
see
has yes,
them?
you see it,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
and you get to see her kind of like, "Okay, like, I'm gonna take myself out of this situation and, like, not be a part of it," and then you get to see the text messages he sends her, you get to see
Mm,
his behavior because it's all played out on the screen, and I'm like, "Do you
yeah.
guys not realize we see you?" Like, so I'm like, he has to be mortified right now because he's not I honestly I just I'm so grateful that you and I have partners that are not like these men. Like, I
Mhm.
kind of forget that, like, we have really healthy partners,
Yeah.
and for anyone who's in a relationship similar to her name's Jen, and I just feel like Jen's character on this show, you wanna, like, go and hug her and, like, save her because her husband is awful. Like and I
Mm,
don't know if it's because they're young or if it's something to do with, like I said, their Mormon upbringing where he thinks that this is the way that a wife should
yeah.
be, but it's like it makes you feel bad. Like, you just wanna, like, scoop her up and be like, "No, girl, like, go find yourself a healthy husband," and her friends try to tell her that too. So
So they're
even
still
they
together.
recognize it. Yeah. Like,
Mm,
she even was like she went away and, like, went and chatted with him and stuff and, like, came back and was like, "Oh, no, we're better now." He understands that he can't be that controlling and he needs to let me live, and I'm just like, "He's still doing the same thing, like, nothing changed." But the friends know that too, they recognized it, where
yeah.
he's gonna continue to, like, tell her, like, "Hey, babe, it's okay," like but it's not, it's never okay. Like
Is is he older, same age as her? Like, what's the
He's so she's yeah, man, I wish I knew actually. I feel like he was a little bit older than her. He's not one of the
Okay.
oldest husbands. One of the girls does have like an older, more established husband, and he's pretty level-headed. Then there's another couple on there. They're like similar in age and they're level-headed as far as like trusting each other and having their own lives. But he is currently in med school to become a doctor. So she
Mm,
feels like she has to kind of like hold down the fort to support him while he's in med school. And that's the standard he set for her, where it's
mm,
like, you have to take care of everything until I can graduate from med school. I don't remember how old he is, but he's young. Like, he's not like a 50-year-old
yeah,
guy
yeah,
with like
yeah,
a
yeah.
20-year-old. So they're close enough in age where like their standards are going to be similar as far as like, it's not like this is his second wife or something where he
Yeah.
has, a set expectation. So I just feel really bad because she's not going to get out of it. And her friends like addressed it with her. Like,
Yeah, and the problem is, like, if you're okay with like, say you well, maybe they don't even know they don't have a healthy relationship, who knows? But, like, if you're willing to show your relationship on TV and everyone around you says it's bad, like, you probably are so clueless yourself.
mhm,
Like,
yeah.
because you're willing to show it, right? Like, you're willing like, you are in, like, a little bubble that you just don't realize, like, what the actual situation is.
No, and she didn't
So
know. When her girlfriend sat down to, like, address it with her, she almost seemed really oblivious to it, and then she felt attacked. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
get that. Like, if you don't know, and then you're like, wait, why do all my friends hate my husband? Like, you take it personally. And it
Mhm.
was like, oh, no, they're actually trying to like help you identify that this is not normal. Like, what
Yeah.
you're experiencing is not a healthy relationship. And I was just like, ooh, that's really awkward.
So, is this one of the girls that, like, I'm assuming based on how you describe him, he is not one of the people that they like swing?
No,
Okay.
no.
I figured not.
It's interesting though, because I'm trying to remember. Some of them are on like Tinder and stuff like that, though. They like go and not all of them, but like that's why you have to watch it, because I just feel like there's
Oh
so
my
many like side
gosh. Should I
plots.
watch it though? Okay,
You should. It's not like a good show, right? You're
so
not going to
you
come out of this and be
still
like, that's my favorite show.
no, but you still like watch it and you're like, I would watch it again.
I think because I just learned so much from it, because it's
Okay.
just so different. Like, you go into it thinking like, oh, okay, like I kind of have an idea of like the LDS community or whatever, like their standards, and like, okay, no caffeine, no alcohol. Like, I'm going to be loyal to my husband, all of this. But they just do so much different stuff that I
Well, I
think
was
it
gonna
really
say,
like,
and I think it's just a bad also, is it a legit representation? Or these just hurt people that were raised in poor homes and like
I don't know, because their parents are kind of like, some of them who've had their parents come to visit when it's like, hey, my mom's coming over for the baby shower or something, like, so you get to hear their opinions too. They almost seem like normal. So then I was just like, wait,
well,
what?
that's what I'm saying. Are these woe me girls? Are these girls that have created this situation and like they just feed off of each other's situation and create like a terrible life and like values and whatever?
Yes. Yep.
Or like like we spoke about last week, I'm sure the Mormon church and people that are real Mormons are like flabbergasted by this and like very upset by it, I would assume.
Yeah. I think they definitely created themselves. Like,
Yeah.
they invited some of these challenges that you see into their lives
Themselves.
themselves. Like, they
Yeah.
did this. So it's like, I hate to pin that on them, but all of the controversy, like it was swinging, or, anyone who stepped out of their relationship, or, even the controlling husband, like, he gambles. So then it's just like, they did this to themselves. Like, you
Yeah.
can't blame anybody but yourself in situations
Yeah.
like that. And then it's funny too, because one of the main characters, or the girls, her name is Whitney. I didn't even realize, I don't know if you've seen this video, but a little while ago, her baby at the time had RSV and he was hospitalized. And she had done like one of
Oh, the
those TikTok
dancing. I've
dance.
seen
Yeah.
that.
I didn't know that was her, because that was years ago,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
So that's her. And she's like the biggest villain out of all of them. But she's so, like, she has no idea that she's toxic. Like, she has no idea that she sucks
Yeah.
and everyone hates her. And so, of course,
Yeah.
she gets on there and she's like really upset. And she's like, why did everyone give me such a hard time for like my dancing video? And people were like, because your baby was sick. Like, your baby was hospitalized. And she was like, I'm dancing because his tests came back that he was like progressing and getting better. And it's just like, that was awful. So now I actually noticed it on TikTok. Everyone's mocking her by doing dances like with like sick people behind them. And I'm just like, ugh, like, because I saw that when it was like
Yeah.
people were giving her like shame for it, but I didn't even connect that was like her. Like, and I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, like
So
this
just
matches.
straight
She's
up,
just continuously done toxic, bad, like gross stuff
yeah.
through all
And
these years.
and it has nothing to do like all of these like behaviors that you're saying, it's like it has nothing to do that it's stemming from like their church and how they were raised. You know,
No,
like
no,
no one tells you to do that, you know? So
no.
I almost feel bad that I understand that like some things they say they don't do, which you say they end up doing a bunch of other things anyways. It's almost like more, I guess, I'm sure annoying for the church that they even have it in the title. Like almost like the emphasis that these girls are trash are because they're Mormon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's why, exactly. Because if they
yeah,
just
and
said like normal girls of a city, like if that was the title, everyone would be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Let them go do all these things. Like, I don't care. But the fact that
yeah.
it's literally Mormon, like we have this image in our mind of just really perfection and like nice and clean and like pure. And the fact that it's like the opposite is why it's so like, I need to watch this. I
I
need to
need
see
a
what's going on.
documentary of
Yeah.
what the church is doing in this case. Like,
Yeah.
did the church kick them out? Like, have they made a statement? We need to look this up. I haven't looked it up. Have they made a
Some of
statement?
them, one of the girls, they're all really active on social media. So I've been kind of seeing stuff as
Uh-huh.
it's like coming out, like people are talking about it and like reposting it. One of the girls, she still goes to church. Like, she's
Is
still
she one of
very
the normal
involved. She
girls?
is one of the more normal ones, but she still participates in all the activities. So,
Yeah.
like, they all are still doing kind of, like, their own version of
But she's not
the
like one
thing.
of the swingers openly
No,
and all this kind of
no.
stuff. Okay.
So they're, like, in a more stable relationship, so I think there wasn't, like, a lot of drama specifically with this girl, but, she still is very active in her community, and I'm just like, "Okay, that's kind of, like, cool to get that perspective that, like,
Mhm.
you've not been shunned."
Yeah, because the church can't, I don't know how much they could shame her
Mhm.
for, like, who she hangs out with if she's not participating in, like, quote unquote, like, really, like, worldly things like
Yeah.
swinging and whatever else. Like, how could they do that? I mean, I guess they could, but, like, I don't know. They would probably be frowned upon, you know? But, like, what about all the swingers and the ones that are, like, openly doing all this stuff? Like, are they still actively a part of the church? Like, they're allowed to attend?
Mm. I'd be curious to know because they don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
They kind of although the show is clearly about Mormon women, they don't really show
They
them,
don't really
like
talk about
yeah.
the Mormon stuff.
Yeah, they're not at all, like, following them to church. Like, they
Yeah.
didn't they kind of just focused on their personal lives, and you didn't really get any of that. So, unless I think we kind of dove deep into their social medias, we probably wouldn't know. And
Yeah.
everyone's asking for a second season, so I don't know what that would look like. Like, if the same girls would come back or if they would just feel embarrassed from what they just shared
Girl,
with
what
us.
is there to be embarrassed about now? They put it all out there
No, it
already.
is already all out there, so all they can do is there's nowhere but up, like,
Yeah, like, you
nowhere to go
open
but up.
Pandora's box,
Yeah.
so, like, it is what it is. I know, I might have to watch it when I run out of a show. Why right
Yes.
now I'm watching, which is it's a little off topic, it's a little more aggressive, but then the Menendez brothers thing that came out
What
on
is that on?
Netflix.
Oh, on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. It's
Is it
like
good?
a drama series, like, the Menendez brothers, right?
I don't think I've seen that.
No, and, like, I think it was '89, they were 2 brothers that, murdered their parents, and for money.
Okay, so they wanted to go to Target and get some
Yeah.
frappuccinos.
They're, like, really talked about. There's a lot of, like, documentaries about
Oh,
them
okay.
and whatever, but they did, like, a dramatized series
Oh,
of it.
nice. Okay. I always love a good dramatization if it's good. So this one's not bad. Is it a good
Yeah,
dramatization? Okay, that's
it's
good.
good.
I'll have to check it out.
One brother's, like, very like, he got talked into it and is very, like, regretful and, like, it's, like, eating him alive, and one brother's just, like, a narcissist and, like, doesn't even care.
Interesting. Okay.
So, that's good. I think it's, like, 4 episodes or something. We haven't finished it yet,
Oh,
but
okay. So it's
there's
a mini series, like a
yeah,
okay.
it's, like, a
That's not bad.
limited series, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to
So
check
we
it out.
watched that. Whenever I run out of shows, though, then I'll, like, that's when I, like, put on, like, when I know something's, like, real trash, like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'll sit down. There's literally nothing else for me to watch,
Yeah.
so I'll just go put it on.
This one's good though, because it's not I feel like there's a lot of shows like Love Island, right? Like, we didn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
Love Island. Like, Love
Yeah.
Island is not even like a I didn't even enjoy that to, like, fold laundry.
Yeah.
Whereas this show, I feel like this is one you could literally have on the background, run the dishwasher, grab the laundry,
Mhm.
like and it's gonna be, like, playing, and you'll just catch, like, the major points of, like, "Oh, wow, like, I didn't know that. That is toxic.
Yeah.
Like, how bizarre. How do they get away with that?" And it's just enough that it's like, "Okay, I can put the next episode on." Like
Alright, I'll give it a
yeah,
shot.
no.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, because then you'll just see what everyone's talking about. Because I literally was just like, "What?" Like, everything was just, like, mind blown. Because I didn't pay attention to any of this. Like, I was just kind of, like, living in my own little world and
Me
just
too.
got
I don't know
slapped in the
any of
face
these
with all the
girls. I've
Mormon
seen,
wife
like
things.
I've seen the main girl, like
Taylor. Taylor's
yeah,
the main one.
yeah, I've seen her, like, in a video, like, whatever, like,
Mhm.
scrolling through reels or something, but I don't follow her. I don't even know her name.
Yep.
But that's the only one. The other ones, I'm like, were they anybody? I don't know.
No, I didn't recognize them until watching the show, and I was just like, "Oh, there they all are.
Yeah.
There's their dances. This is how they got famous." Like, so it's just
Yeah.
very different, very bizarre.
I'll give
Yeah.
it a try. I'm, like, in the little, like, rut of, like, none of, like, my shows aren't coming back. Like, the
I know, it's a
seasons.
weird season right now. Yeah. I
Like,
don't
I'm
think
like,
stuff
when
usually
is it
comes back
coming
until,
out?
like, proper fall, I feel like is when we get all of our
Yeah.
shows, like, the good stuff comes back, so
I'm
just
waiting.
around the corner. Yeah.
Waiting
Fall is
patiently
always a
for
good
all
time
of
for
them.
TV.
And then next year, like, New Year always is, like, new things. So,
Yes, yeah,
like,
all the new
Severance.
shows. Yes, we're here for that. That's gonna be a good one for the spring.
Jackie and I are gonna start doing ASMR. We're gonna start doing that.
Yeah, 'cause the mic sounds so nice and
It sounds
crispy.
so
Yeah.
nice. We're gonna do sleep ones. We're gonna be like, just breathe in. 1, 2, 3. so everyone can go to sleep. It always sounds like I don't care for my voice or like it, but whenever you whisper like that, it always just sounds so nice.
No, for some reason, I think it's because of the technology with a good mic. It just
Yeah,
comes through so crystal clear, and so it's just gonna sound like I don't know, I think people would enjoy it.
I know. We have
Yeah.
to we I don't know if we talked about this before, but we used to be like so like to our voice.
Yeah.
But it's like literally being put into our ears right now
Yeah.
when we like edit these. We have to listen to it when we do like reels or TikToks, we have to listen to it. And so we just hear our voice all the time. And so now like I don't love my voice, but like by all means, like I don't even cringe by it anymore
No,
because
it doesn't it's not nearly as annoying when we would have to go back for, like, quality control to, like, make sure the episode uploaded properly, and then I'd be like, "Ugh," like, "Mute it,
yeah,
hurry up and mute it," like
I know. And
but now it's
like I
like, "Oh, it's
said,
fine."
even right now, like, obviously, when you talk, you can hear yourself, but we hear ourselves through the mic in our ears
Yeah.
too, and so, like, we're just like, "Whatever."
It's the same thing with everything, right? Like, you almost just have to dive headfirst into something and just get over like, what is it? You have to go into the uncomfortable before you'll feel comfortable, like,
Yeah.
whatever that saying is. So I feel like that's exactly what podcasting has been. And same with, like, stepping out on social media. Like, neither of us are really, like, big when it comes to stuff like that. So the fact that we've been, like, getting on live so we can really build,
No
like, a community.
makeup,
Yeah, like
hair in a bun.
yeah, like, just hopping on so we can build our community, for the podcast and everything, and it's just been like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's no big deal now." Like,
Yeah.
it's just if you're thinking about doing anything, just dive headfirst in, like,
Yeah.
don't be
And
afraid.
we used to be so, like, not filtered, but, like, we would go on and, like, really look through our episode, edit out what needed to be. Oh, do we need to edit this out? Oh, do we need to? And now we literally just like chop the beginning until we say like, "Hey, thank you, welcome, whatever," and then we chop the end after we say bye, and literally add the beginning and front and the back end, and that's it. Like we don't even bother and worry about like what we said and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, we found our groove, so it's kinda fun that we've, like, had so much growth since we've
yeah,
started. So, I
yeah.
feel like it's
So
been fun.
here we
It's been
are.
a
If
fun
you, for
journey.
some reason, don't follow us on TikTok or social media and you listen to us, which I find that like that could happen, but I just find it less likely. But if you don't follow us on social media, then follow us and come in, especially TikTok. We go live there and like chat with people and like have conversations and it's fun. Like the other day we chatted about the deed and
Oh,
like
yeah.
how often people do it.
Relationships,
Yeah,
all
how
of this
often
stuff,
people
yeah.
do it and
And
all
we
that kind of
got
stuff.
boys' opinions versus girls' opinions too,
Mhm.
so that's really fun because we don't get to, like, get all of that,
Yeah,
via the podcast when you and I are chatting, like, all we can really rely on is, like, a news article. So
and
it's
just
kinda
us.
fun to have, like, real chat with real people and just, like, be in the raw of, like, what
Yeah,
are people saying? What are people doing? Like, tell us. So
yeah.
definitely, like, tune in on our lives if you're wanting some, like, just kind of unscripted
And normal
podcasting.
people, just normal.
Yeah, yeah.
So tune in there and say that you came from the podcast so that we can like
Oh,
actually
yeah.
know you're listening to us because people pop in all the time and we have our little regulars and friends on there, but let us know if for some reason you're coming from the podcast and you don't follow us. Pop in a live and say hi and let
Oh,
us
yeah,
know.
for sure, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all
Yeah.
the things, do
Do
all of the
all the
actions.
things.
Yeah.
Rate. We had a couple ratings being people being so kind and rating us recently. So please do that. That helps us. But I appreciate you joining and listening this whole time. And we will catch you next week because we're going to deep dive into a topic that we were supposed to do today, but we, per usual, just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys probably don't want 2-hour-long episodes, so this is for your benefit that we cut ourselves off at this
yes.
point, like
So next week we will chat about all the things of millennial generation and Gen Z generation. I'm not going to go too deep into it
yeah,
because I
but there
want to
is a
save it.
divide, and we're gonna dive deep into it.
There's a divide and we're going to dive deep into it and so we're looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
So we will chat next week. Bye.
Bye.